All right, toy fans. So we've got another one of our Minecraft builds. This one is 21584. This is the Nether and End Portal Journey. So this is like a one of the newer sets. And you got an Enderman here. You got was it a Piglin, Epic Player Portal. You got the End Portal. Some stuff from lava and from the nether areas. The baby Hoglin, cool hero Enderman, nice. So there's some pretty cool stuff in this. You got portal work, you got the lava, you got the end portal, you got Enderman there, you got some stuff from the Nethers. Yeah, I dig this. I dig this. It's pretty cool. This is one that I was like, I don't know, but I was like, hey, I could definitely. There's some stuff in this that I think could easily be used for what we're wanting to do. As far as like builds and stuff. So I was like, let me check it out. So we got that's bags 1 and 2. So we got 3. That'll go 3 and 4 over there. 1 and 2, 3 and 4. So we're gonna look at this one, bags 1 and 2. So we're gonna focus on 1 first. Now I know there are people that save their paper bags. I don't. Hey, you know what? Let me know down in the comments. Real quick, shameless plugs. If you haven't subscribed, be sure to subscribe. Hit that bell for notifications to be alerted anything comes from me to you. Comment down below. Do you save these bags? I chunk mine. Now I'm starting to question it. Like, should I get rid of them? Should I keep them? I've never really kept the bags. The poly bags, yes, especially when they were plastic, because there were ways it's like, okay, we're gonna save these poly bags and use them for X, Y, and Z this way. So for me, it's like, yeah, I could see the use in that, but like the paper ones, I don't know. I've kept so far all the paper poly bags, but a lot of the builds are still in it. I haven't moved them into anything or taken them apart and bend them yet. So like for me, a lot of those are just kind of sitting around. So that's where I'm kind of wondering. I know that's a bit of an argument. Some people say nope, get rid of them. Some people are like, no, I have to have it. I can't get rid of it. Okay, oh, it's a cool potion bottle. So we're using a figurehead, a 1x1 round tile with stem, and then a 1x1 round stud or plate as a stopper. I think that's kind of cool. All right, so we've got over here. We're gonna put this in his hand. Boom. There you go. We've got 1, and we're putting some plates on it. So we got these 2x4 jumpers, and now we're putting this and this. Okay, so we got 1 and 2. Depending on how I take the portal part, this right here with the lava, I definitely use. I need more of those. 1, 2, 3, and 4. 1. Let's see. 3, 4. All right. We got this. We got this. We're gonna pop that on there, and I think that's a 2x6. So we got 2x6 that's going right here on the end. Pretty standard stuff. We got 1, 2 of these, and then 2 of these. All right, so it's gonna go here. It's gonna go here. 1 and 2. Boom, boom. And then we've got these here. So we've got some tan. Now that's the portal portion, I believe. Or no, that's actually, I think that's the part that makes it tilt. So some of this, depending, I would probably rebuild some of it and some different colors. But that's just me. And I say that because, like, I'm going to associate my sand with the desert biome area. Probably not going to keep a lot of the sand. There's brown and dark gray and gray that I'll actually keep within the underground portions, the actual caves and the mines. But I don't know. I probably wouldn't have every single like tan and all that down in there. I know it's diverse, but there's a point when it's like I don't want it too diverse. I want the biomes to be able to speak out from one another because they're going to be so small in their difference that I need them. Like if tan is desert, I need it to be that's our desert, and that's just me looking at it kind of in the way of we need to make sure that we got that settled. So we got these little translucent, almost like pearlescent sort of purples. These are pretty cool. Got one over here. Got one over here. So 1, 2. Just like that. Okay, cool. I've got one left. I'm gonna leave it off, but I have a feeling I might be like, dude, totally change that up. So we're going to put these two on. So 1 and 2. And that's going to fit to the bottom of this right here. Okay. So there we go. It's our portal. We're going to fit this onto here. Nice. And we're going to flip it back. All right. So we do have some pieces left over. We're going to set them right over here. Let's go to back 2. It's like I'm being so dainty with it. It's like, just stop it. Just take it out. Get it out of there. Check. Nothing in there. Always check it. Here's the thing. You really want to check it because sometimes there are parts in there. We're just not aware of it. Okay, so it looks like we've got 1, 2 of our translucent plates, and then 1, 2, 3, and 4 of our translucent 1x1 tiles. One goes like this. Okay, so that's 2. So 1 and 2. I see what I'm saying. I see what it's saying. Okay. So it should be a tile, or I'm sorry, a plate, a 1x2 plate with a 1x1 plate and another 1x1 plate on top of it. That's not what I need. This is what I need. 1 and 2. Okay. Now it looks like this is supposed to go 1 here and 1 right here. Okay, that still works. That holds that out. We got 1, 2, and 3. So we're gonna go boom, boom, and boom. And that should fit down onto here. And then we're starting the portal portion. So we got 1 and 1. And we're using hinge plates, which is kind of interesting. I dig it. I mean, that makes them kind of strong, but it's kind of like, really? Normally we'd always use hinge plates for things, but this is quite a moment. I'll take it. So that should go out like this. Okay, now we're gonna do the same thing. So this time 1 and 2, 1, 2, and 1 and 2. We'll push all that together. Okay, so that goes 2, and just like that. Pop that onto there. 1, 2, 1 right up here. Boom, just like that. And then we've got our 2x6 And it's almost like a hunter green plate. I dig these colors, man. I really like these. And then we're going to stack with these 2x2 jumper tiles. We're going to put those on there. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, and 3. Should have 12 total. Now it's going to be 3 on each side. Now we're seeing 9 here, but technically where we're putting it, there's 3 others around the corner. Okay, and then we're going to be putting all these on there. Now what I'm going to do real quick, I am going to place these first. Put that down because I want everything to go in the same direction. So I'm going to try to place all the ender stones or ender pearls in the same position, so that way they all stay together. Wasn't quite sure about this one originally. I was like, yeah, I don't know. But to be quite honest, like this is not bad. Not bad at all. Now probably we'll take like a plate or something here in a minute and straighten those up. 2 and 1 more. So let's take, I think I've got, let's see, this plate right here. Finally take it out of its wrapper. I hadn't even done that yet. And they're like, I got them because they're like clear plates, but I got them to do like a cool like LED sort of lit up sign, because I've also got translucent tiles that I can build stuff with. So nice, that is pretty cool. All right, so this is technically done. We do have some extra parts. We'll put those over to the side, and boom. Yeah, so let's bring our hero up here. Oh, all right, looking good. Now we are on the second book. Now they did separate the books, which I thought was interesting. It's a 7+. They separated the books. Works kind of strange, but it works. And already out the gate for this one, I'm already super excited because it looks like we're going to be starting with an Enderman. Yay! Alright, so we've got this here. We've got the Enderman body. Now, much like I kind of scoot that over. I feel like I've done us some damage here. There we go. So much like the creeper body, it's pre-molded with a few studs on it, but we got this one here. It's going to fit down to there. Then it looks like we got 1 and 2. And then we should have plates, 1x1 plates. 1 and 2, just like that. Okay, then we have 1, and then we're using a headlight brick, 2. And then we're going to do the same thing, 1, 2, and 3. Ooh. Set them like this. Boom, 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 boom. Okay. And that's going to fit right onto here. And that's going to go here. Fit that to here. So this Enderman is carrying a block around. And then we'll put this one over here. So this will be nice to have in the cave portion of stuff. I have a feeling we've got the head next. Yeah, we got the head. And look how, oh man, look at that. Look how just nice and creepy that head is. Oh, I dig this. I dig this one a lot. Okay, so we'll put the Enderman over there. And now we got some more of our lava orange. So 1 there. 1 there. And then this is going to go under here. Boom. We've got this going on top. And then we got a block here that we're building. Okay, so 1, 2, 1 and 2. I like how we build these particular blocks. I like the look of them. So 1 and 2. But I think there's, like, I know there have been people that have been complaining about the sizing problem. Like, there's not everything in this is actually sized to what it would be in the game. So there's lots of people that are upset about it. But I think it's okay. There we go. We got a mineable block right there. So we're going to take this guy. We're going to set him right over there. And now all right, 4x4 plates, 2x2 brick. Put this on top, and then we're gonna stack 1, 2. Now these are pieces that are in the desert of the Nether. 2. We got 1 and 2, and then we're gonna be putting a 1x1 tile on the end, just like that. Straighten them all up. And then we got a black Travis brick, which is perfect. And then we're putting these flowers. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So they do give us some extra parts. And this is going to be going on to here. So we got kind of our nether cactus. And now we're on bag 4. We're going to do our baby pigland and a nether portal. Boom. Check it. All done. Alright, now, ooh, we got some good colors for our piglins and stuff. Alright, I kind of move these so I can see what I'm doing. Alright, so we need 1 and 2. It looks like a brown. 1, 2, and then we're doing another. Should have, there it is. About to say, I know I have a brown in there. 1 and 2. Okay. Then we got 2 shades of this brown. We've got the darker and the lighter, right? And that's going to go right on the end, kind of like that. And then 2 for tiles. 1 and 2, and then we got a rocker plate that we're putting down there, so that goes right there. Okay. Then 1 and 2, and we got 1 more of these plates here. If I can find it, there it is. About to say, I know I have it somewhere. 2, and then we got 2 of our inverted brackets, so 1 and 2. Let me straighten all this up. It's not exactly straight yet. Okay, and then we got a 1x3 jumper plate that goes right there. And now we've got our printed tile. Now our printed tiles are our piglin face, so it looks like that would go with. It'd go kind of like that. Okay, that works. And then we got 1 and 2. Kind of nice. I did not have any of the other piglins, so I can't compare it and say that this one's better or worse because I just didn't know. But this is, so far, this is pretty nice. Okay, so that's going to be fitting right onto the bottom, and that's going to snap right onto here. Look, we got ourselves a brand new buildable character. Toss a guy up. I dig that. Look at that. It's cute. Alright, that's going to go right over there. And now it's time for our nether portal. So we got 1 and 1. What is that? That is a 2 by 8. There you go. It's going to go across this way. And then we've got 1 and 2. Go right there. And now we got our cheese wedges. Lovely, lovely cheese wedges. 1 and 2. And 3 and 4. So we're going to fit those in. 3 and 4, just like that. 1, 2 of these. Just stacking them so far. And then it looks like we got a purple. And then an L plate. And then it looks like we're stacking 2 more. 1 and 2. Then over here we've got a purple here. And then an L plate. Okay. And then 1 more brick on top. And then looks like 1 more. And another L plate. So we've gotten 3 plates high, which tells me that they are essentially building. They are building a brick out of plates. So that's going to go right here on this end. L plate. And then 1, 2. 1 down here, and then an L plate, and then 1, and then 1 over here with another L plate, just like that. Okay, so we got 2 of these walls, and they've got really good texture in them. I dig that quite a bit. Alright, so we're lining them up. 1, 2, it's kind of like that. I do feel like there's a part of me that feels like that should be turned a little bit. Get a little bit of variety in there. Maybe I'm wrong, but that's the way I'm going to do it. I know I'm going against the grain. Ooh, these are nice. Translucent purple, so 1 by 2 by 5s. That's what those are. And then we got this one right here. So we go boom. And boom. Then we've got this double-sided snot brick, and then we got 1. Snap that in. I was about to say, oh my goodness, I've only had like I think 1 set that was missing a piece. Now my kid, unfortunately, he's had several Lego sets that were missing pieces. I often thought, I was like, are you opening these a certain way that you're losing them all? And who knows? But I've had to reach out to Lego a few times. I got 1 part for 1 set that was missing. And then for his, end up having to go out a few times to go find sets. Or to reach out to say, hey, this is missing from this set. That's pretty cool. That'll look good in the cave. Alright, then we got 1 and 2. And then we're going to top it off with these. 1 and 2. And that's it. And then we got some leftover parts, I guess, to build with. So we do have parts left over. So we've got this. We got our Enderman. Oh no, he lost his foot thing. So we got our Enderman. We got this. We've got our Ender cactus thing. We've got some lava with I can't remember what kind of, this like lava stone or like magma stone. That with a piglin. Then we got our I think it's a cool hero. Is that what they said? Yeah, it's called Cool Heroes. So we got a Cool Heroes, got a portion, and then there's the end portal right there. So kind of going to the last part of the game. Not bad, not bad. I'd like to see how this will integrate into other things. Now I've done the Taiga set. Now I haven't gotten that chicken. It's thinking about it. I think for me first, the Warden encounter would be the one I would get probably next, just because I'm getting things to build up the mine portion on the bottom. Then I can finish building up the top on the top of that. So yeah. Hey, so that's the build. I mean, it's a pretty basic build. There's not a lot to it. $15, not too much. I'll try to remember to actually review this before I take it apart and build into other things. Since I seem to have a habit of doing that here lately. Apologize about that, but yeah, it's an okay set so far. Like, let me play with it, kind of see how things are going, then I'll get back to you. Okay. Hey, if you're liking all this and you want to help out the channel, here's how you can help. If you haven't subscribed, be sure to subscribe. Hit that bell for notifications. You can be alerted if anything comes from me to you. Like this video, helps YouTube know and you like what I'm making, and comment down below. Would you get this set? Would you not? Would you have rather spent it on something else other than Lego Minecraft? Let me know down in the comments. I love chatting with you all and carrying on that conversation. Yeah, also going to the link tree, clicking on links, getting stuff out of the shop, those sorts of things also help as well. So I do appreciate each and every one of those things that you do to help. Yeah, that's pretty much all I got. Hey, I love you all and thank you all for showing up. I love you all. Jesus loves you more. Nothing you can do about it. Good luck with the build and happy brick hunting.